What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the SPY, the Nasdaq, the QQQs, and the indices, break down what's going on with the overall market and why it's very likely that the market might get a very nice bounce tomorrow, a very nice short squeeze, as crazy as that sounds. So I'm going to break down what the charts are showing us, why they're suggesting that this is very likely, what's going on with the data and Apple's earnings, and why I once again believe the most likely possibility is us getting a short squeeze tomorrow for SPY, for QQQ, and many other stocks. Before I break anything down about all of this information, before I talk about why I find this very likely, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And the best part is, any could be a free Tesla share. The offer ends in just 9 days. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So anyways, guys, let's talk about the charts, what's actually going on. In my previous video, I told you all that we likely have like a head and shoulders like formation on SPY right here, and we'd likely get a sell-off, right? And excuse me, sorry. I also apologize about my voice. I'm starting to lose my voice a bit, so I might sound kind of cracky sometimes. But anyways, I'm still going to power through. When it comes to the market, we got the sell-off, right? The sell-off came today. SPY is currently at 405. My target on SPY was us potentially going as low as 404. And we bounced off 403.74, so super, super close. Now, the question is, what's likely going to happen? Will the market just keep crashing from here, or is the market about to get a nice bounce? And in my opinion, looking at the technicals and what the odds are favoring, based off what's going to move the markets, I think the odds favor us getting a bounce tomorrow. I think we're likely going to see something very, very crazy. I'm going to break down exactly why on the charts in a couple of minutes. I first need to talk about some data just very briefly. We have unemployment numbers coming out for tomorrow in the non-farm payrolls. And then we also have another important thing is going to be the used cars prices. That will be important. And then don't forget, we also have Apple's earnings after the market closes today. I do apologize for not being able to record this video after Apple's earnings today. I'm so sorry about that. I don't really have the time today, but to me it doesn't matter as much because I think that what's about to happen is we might get a positive reaction. Now, Apple might initially not give the best earnings. Really depends on EPS and revenue because once again, earnings are very adjusted. Not too sure about that in the very beginning, but then guidance, the announcements to come could be huge for them because they are expected to announce a uh, $90 billion worth of buybacks basically and dividends when reporting their earnings. If they do this, Apple could pump. Apple pumping is going to cause SPY and the QQQ to squeeze, and that's also going to lead to more bullish price action if that happens, right? Now, there's always the possibility that Apple completely misses, it flops on its face, and we see the market crash because of it. That's a possibility. I'm always open to that. I think it's also important to be prepared for that, but I think the odds favor, in my opinion, I am predicting Apple is going to lead to a positive reaction for the markets. I think Apple might actually pump tomorrow, and we might see the market pump too. Now, why else could this happen? Well, one thing you have to remember is the fact that price action and the news oftentimes have these correlations, right? And what market makers do is they use the news and the data as an excuse to make big moves for the markets. Okay, that's the reason why something very unexpected could happen that causes the market to tank when you have some technical signals suggesting that that could happen. Other times the opposite could happen. That's why I'm always open to anything just in case. But once again, I can't promise anything. But here's what's important, okay? We have almost a million puts expiring. We have a 410 max pain and a 2.05 put to call ratio. So most people have puts. Most people are shorting the market thinking that, oh, it's the end of the world. The market's going to crash. Let's short the market super, super hard. And people bought the 0 day to expiration options today. They also are going to buy 1 day to expiration options, right? This was only around 750,000 just a few days ago. We saw another few 100,000 puts open on SPY. Are they all being closed as of right now? Not necessarily. And because of that, that's contributing to the market dropping for the time being. But as they start closing, if we do get a squeeze, this could lead to more buying pressure for the markets. And what do I see happening for tomorrow now that the context is in? It's going to depend on Aapl. If Aapl misses, the market could still crash. SPY could go down to 402. If Aapl does well, which I think it will, we're going to see the market bounce. Now, why do I think the odds heavily favor Aapl helping the market bounce? Well, the news about the share buyback is huge. That's going to be very bullish. Dividends, that's once again very, very good. And Apple has a history of doing relatively well. Now, Apple may not be doing well compared to previous earnings, but remember, during this cycle, the expectations have been just dropped like crazy. But now let's break down the charts. Okay. So yesterday I told you we'd likely see a sell-off. I wasn't sure exactly when the sell-off would happen, but I was expecting it. And we got the sell-off. Look at SPY, it's only at 404 now, right? We're near close. We came down to almost 403.74. We're dropping very hard, right? This is what I was warning you guys about yesterday. But now the move has been made, but I want you guys to notice something. Look at the RSI right here. Look at how SPY dropped right here back near the very end of April, right? The price made a lower low right here. And the RSI made a higher low. And then as a result of that, we saw this squeeze all the way back up to 417, which was insane. And now when you look at SPY, it's doing the same thing. So from right here, SPY has been making this lower low in terms of price action. The lower low has been made. And if you look at the RSI is making these higher lows and starting to trend upwards. We're also about to get a crossover on the PPO, which suggests we might see a bounce tomorrow. And also, you have to look at the levels we're at. We're at a very important level, 404. Well, look what happened the last time we hit this zone. We're forming what appears to be like a double bottom-like formation. Right? It's very clean. It's very symmetrical. It looks quite beautiful, actually. So we could get a bounce right here. And that is what's happening so far, is holding this level, the low previously. The odds are starting to favor it trying to push up and get a reversal. Because we have so many of these puts expiring, the market makers are incentivized to push us up. They might try to get SPY above max pain around 410 tomorrow. Now, if I'm wrong, that's always a possibility. It depends on Apple's earnings. Always be prepared for anything. We could still see the market crash, of course, but I think it's very unlikely because we have so many signals suggesting the market's going to bounce very soon and start pushing up, and market makers are going to try to squeeze these shorts. They turned so many people bearish after the FOMC meeting, after the big drop in the markets, thinking the crash is here. And this is exactly the opportunity to squeeze these people and absolutely destroy the shorts. Now, there's more evidence of this, or more potential evidence. That is when you look at the QQQ. On the QQQ, you will notice the same thing is going on. The QQQ has a bullish divergence that has formed. This is looking like a triple bullish divergence, which tends to be quite nice. The RSI was at 25. Then the RSI went up to about 36 for the second low. I'm sorry, 29 for the second low. Then the third low was around 31. So the RSI is making these higher lows. It's been doing this for the last couple of days. But look at the price action. The price action has been making lower lows. So the price action is going down, RSI is going up. This is a bullish divergence. And my target on the QQQ was around, I told you guys yesterday, 313 to 314 is what you should be watching as the absolute bottom. We actually hit 315, so a tiny bit higher than what I expected. But also, we're hitting this area right here. I know it's a little hard to see. I apologize. It's so small. I'm very sorry. But the point I'm trying to make is we have some support at 315 that's holding us up. So we're not going to come all the way down to 313 for now. I don't know if we're going to gap down tomorrow to 313, then get the bounce in like an island reversal pattern, or if we're just going to reverse from here. But I am anticipating a reversal very soon, most likely tomorrow. I'm thinking that the QQQ might come down a little bit, then bounce and start pushing up, close green tomorrow, or it might just not even drop much more from here and just start squeezing shorts tomorrow. Just like SPY. On the VIX, I want you guys to notice that the VIX is up pretty big. When the VIX is up over 10% in one day, it tends to move in the opposite direction within 1 or 2 days. At least statistically, that's most likely going to happen. But notice something on the VIX. When the VIX was dropping like this, one of the things I warned you guys about was the VIX had a bullish divergence. That's why I was not as bullish on the markets. I was telling you the VIX might get a pump. But notice that the VIX is forming a bearish divergence now, right? The RSI was at 73. Now today the RSI reached 70.66. The RSI is making this lower high. The VIX made a higher high today compared to 2 days ago, right? What does that spell? Bearish divergence. Why is it that the VIX is making a bearish divergence, SPY is making a bullish divergence, QQQ is making a bullish divergence, and then we happen to have Apple's earnings? I don't know. Maybe unexpected things could happen. Maybe they're all wrong. That's always a possibility. Or maybe the odds are heavily favoring the market pushing up. And I think that's what's likely going to happen because the VIX also has two gaps below. There's now this gap down to like 18.7. There's another one way down here around 16. There's a chance that if the VIX reverses and comes down, it's going to fill this gap and retest the 200 EMA, which happens to be around the 18.5 level. So we could see the VIX pull back tomorrow if the market gets the squeeze. And I think the odds favor that. That's just my opinion. I think it's very likely. For Tesla's been trading pretty flat, not really doing anything for the last couple of days. This is a way for the market makers to destroy both people holding puts and also calls. It's destroying both shorts and people going long. And it's just going back and forth and back and forth. But if the market gets a nice pump, Tesla could also pump with the markets. I think the market just closed about a minute ago, by the way. What I'm seeing on Tesla is just sideways price action, but I think tomorrow there's a good chance it's going to make an attempt to push up to 163, maybe pull back from there. And then if the market gets the squeeze, which I think is very likely, if we truly get it, Tesla's going to make a way for 163. If it breaks it, 166 is going to come. 165.5 to 166, that zone right there. And I think Tesla's going to fight for it. If it breaks it, we could see this thing get closer to 170. But I'm not as sure about that because it keeps getting rejected off 166. But it is going to likely test this if the market does pump more. And Tesla's getting tighter and tighter. A big move is bound to come. It could pump a little bit more from here. It's very possible. All right. It has seen some consolidation too. Even today was more of a consolidation day. There's a good chance Tesla might make its way up to 166, if not 170, if we get the squeeze, if we get some good earnings from Apple. Finally, I'm going to make this video short, guys. By the way, I'm not going to go over everything. I'm so sorry about that. I'm kind of losing my voice, and I just want to keep this short. For Apple, it is down to 165. It came tumbling down since yesterday, right? It's down pretty hard. It crashed to 162.5, and there's not much going on from a technical standpoint. It looks like it's just consolidating and trading sideways. Apple's either going to pump all the way up above 170 to 172.5 to 175, well above here, or Apple's going to crash. If Apple crashes, the market's going to crash. Be open to that possibility. But if Apple rallies, the market's going to rally too. What do I think is going to happen? My gut tells me, my prediction would be Apple surprises by tomorrow, and then we're going to see Apple pump a bit. And this is going to help the market pump in a short squeeze like event. That's my prediction. I'm always open to any possibility, of course, but I think it's very likely that this company will do what it does best, and that is defying the odds and continuing to report very positive earnings. The dollar is not really doing too much. It's just trading kind of sideways, so not a whole lot is going on with it. It's not actually confirming a big breakout. It's still trading sideways, which opens the possibility of the market basically cooling off. The market pumping and this thing cooling off. So we'll see what the dollar does. It's still just trading flat, not really doing anything too significant. No breaks to the upside or anything like that. 10-year Treasury yield also came down, right? Not the best of signs. We're about to get a crossover here on the PPO. If it does pump, well, what's interesting is it actually dropped with the market yesterday and today. So if it does bounce, could it be correlated temporarily with the market. That tends to not happen, but if that's the case, we'll just wait and see how it goes. I'm seeing potential for a bounce tomorrow in the markets. I think we have a good setup for it, but I'm always open to any possibility. I just think the odds greatly favor a squeeze tomorrow. That's what I'm predicting, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I have some merch for you guys if you're interested in buying anything. If you want to buy a shirt that says "To the Moon" or "Buy the Dip" or something like that. If not, it's completely fine with me. All right, thank you for listening. Once again, have a great day. Market to the moon as the long term is bright, and peace out.